Hi everybody, this is Marr here, and welcome to another Mullins vlog video where I talk about stuff that's happened in my life, YouTube experiences, personal thoughts on things. It's just a vlog, basically, that's all it is. A few days ago, I released the Marr Show episode where me and my friends went over to the Center of Puppetry Arts exhibit. It was so much fun, we had a blast. It was also a great episode overall, the beginning part where me, my brother, and Doug recreated that scene from the Muppet movie. It turned out extremely well, and I'm just really happy that I went to the Center of Puppetry Arts. Even though it's now been a week, or a little bit over a week, I still can't believe I went and I had such a great time. It's been something I've been wanting to do for years, to go to see the Muppets up close in a museum, whether it be, down in Atlanta, Georgia, the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., the Jim Henson exhibit up in New York in the Moving Image Museum. I was just happy I went. However, there was a little bit of nervousness leading up to the events of us going to Georgia, as I was having doubts of going. Not that I was not going to have a great time, but the fear of us being on the interstate with the heavy traffic, the fear of reenacting in a big crash that me and my brother had a few years ago. This is something that I don't really talk about. I don't like talking about very scary or depressing events, as I think people that mention those stuff too much, I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable talking about it as much. Tragic stuff that happened in my life. Not that it doesn't happen every month or anything, no. But there's some things I just don't really feel like, if I talk too much about it, I may get the feeling to other people that I'm trying to show off or I'm asking for something. But I have a little bit of a fear of the interstate. I mean, granted, yes, the interstate is a scary thing, as everyone's going at high speeds, people are joking out for each other, don't know what the other person's motives is while driving. It can be scary. But that's not the reason why I'm kind of scared of the interstate. As there's something that happened a couple years ago to me and my brother, and it kind of goes back all the way to 2015. One of my good friends is Challenger. I've met him ever since I started YouTube. He's a very good friend of mine. He's wonderfully talented, so creative, full of energy. Whenever we get to film some of the Marr Show episodes, like the Mario Kart list or the Shine Time Station review, he's so full of energy and passion, and he's a great friend overall. I don't get to see him a whole lot, as he's busy with college and I'm busy doing nothing. So it's like one of those things where I just don't get to see him a whole lot. But he's a very good friend of mine. And twice we actually got to the point where he actually came down to Tennessee and I went up to Pennsylvania. We only did it like twice, as he started college shortly after 2016. So we kind of haven't really got to see each other face to face. We still keep in close contact, but it was something that we figured, as good friends, we wanted to visit each other from different places. And even though it's like an 8-hour driving distance, it's so much fun. And the second time, which was in 2015, me and my brother went up to Pennsylvania. We had a blast. We stayed up there for 4 days. It was so much fun, and it was a good time. The last day, however, we stood up pretty late. We stood up probably till about, I want to say 2 in the morning, and then we all got up at 5 a.m. as, well, during that day, me and my brother was going to head back to Tennessee, and then Challenger and his buddy was going to go to a convention in Virginia. I forgot which part of Virginia, but it was a convention over there. We had breakfast, and we decided to, say goodbyes, farewells, and went to our destinations. And you could kind of understand what's going to happen in upcoming events here. Well, me and my brother are really tired because we didn't get a good enough sleep. We wanted to head home as soon as possible, as we wanted, okay, we just need to get home, so just go fast. And with the combination of all that, you could kind of see where it's going to lead up to. And for this next bit, I'm going to use some very poor images expressing what's going to happen next. Me and my brother was around the area of Chilhowee, Virginia. We were driving extremely fast, getting to our destination, when all of a sudden, and I was asleep at this point. My brother lost control as this car really cut right in front of us, came out of nowhere, cut in front of us, and my brother got terrified. We lost control of the car, went back and forth, until we jumped over to the opposite direction of the lane. There was no guardrail in between the grass area, so we literally went uphill to the opposite direction. And surprisingly, there was like a good 5-second distance between the vehicles towards us, giving us plenty of time to get to the safety lane to where we won't get hit. It was terrifying, as literally my brother yelled out, "Holy crap!" Okay, it wasn't really that, it was something more explicit, but he was swerving back and forth. I woke up and all this happened, him losing control, us going off drift to the opposite lanes of the interstate, and getting to the safety lane in a span of like 15 seconds. It was terrifying. But luckily, after we got calm and collected, even though all the cars was going this way and we were on the side in the opposite direction, we would calm down. We got out of the vehicle through the driver's side and checked around the car, and he acted perfectly fine. The only real damage we saw was that the back passengers, no, the driver's side in the back wheel was, the tire was popped. Other than that, the car yet to fine. Luckily, the emergency vehicles came in, they inspected, make sure we were fine. They got the car towed up to go to Chilhowie, which is a nice community. Chilhowie, Virginia is a very small town, but it's a very nice community. Everyone was, kind, make sure we were fine. Although they were very surprised about the incident, as we explained, us jumping out, losing our control, jumping to the opposite direction. The police officer there was very shocked. He was like, "You guys should have ended up in a crash," as if you thought of like a vehicle jumping to the opposite lane would think they would be in a car pile or would get majorly hit, but no. And I had to thank Jesus and God for keeping us safe. So we went to Chilhowie at the little auto body shop. They inspected the car, and even though the outside looked good, they lifted the hood up, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but the motor apparently got loose and welded into like the front, or like formed within the front edge of the hood. So it's like, we're not gonna go anywhere. And I feel really bad about this, as the car that my brother was driving at the time, he was like $600 to completely pay off for it. He's been paying it off for 2 years, and he was so close to getting it paid off completely. And in a matter of just us being on the interstate, yeah, and to be fair, I feel kind of a little bit of guilt because of that, as he was so close to paying us off. He worked so hard, and here was my idea of wanting to go and visit my good friend. That just happened. And before I continue, I want to say an apology to Challenger if he's watching this, because I never really told him about this incident, as I didn't want you to be worried, my friend. So, yeah. But we were fine. We had no scars, nothing. But I was still sad about that. However, my brother, he's a very caring brother. He really is. God bless me with such a wonderful brother. He cares about me. Granted, I don't really depict him like that in my videos, but he still cares about me more. And even though he was scared of, how he was going to pay for the rest, what late fees, or what's going to happen with the dealership, he was more concerned that we were fine and safe. So after we said, okay, we're just going to have to call our folks, call Mom and Wes to come pick us up. We called them, they got to Chilhowie in 4 hours, and we went back home to Tennessee. But still, for a while, I was scared of being on the interstate. Even after a few months, my brother wanted to go to the town next over. It's like 30 minutes from where we're currently at, where you have to go through the interstate to get to it. Even though I wasn't against going, I was clinching to the seat, as I was scared of driving, scared of being on an interstate. So you could kind of understand why, leading up towards the events of us going to Georgia, I was having nervous thoughts. It's like, do I really want to go on there? Will we get hurt? Because 6 lanes is so much to work with. Will the other drivers be considerate? Will we be fine? Will we end up living in that car crash again? All these thoughts was making me doubt if us wanted to go. But I gotta remember as well that there's a few factors that went in. Me and my brother were tired. We were going fast, so we wasn't really paying attention to our surroundings. And you gotta be very alert when you're on the interstate. And now when we only drive like 60, 65 miles on the interstate. we focus, you know, make sure we're fine and we get a good night's sleep. Make sure when we are going on the interstate, we get a full night's rest and be alert and stuff. And the other thing too, and this kind of, you know, goes back way when I did my Fear of Twisters video I did last year, is that yes, the interstate can be scary, but you don't want to let fear block you from, you know, enjoying life. If you want to go to some place that's like in the next state or something that requires you to go on the interstate, you shouldn't let that fear stop you. And I think the great President Theodore Roosevelt has this to say, is that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And that is true. The only thing that's blocking you from going to Atlanta, Georgia, New York, or any other place, even if you're scared of the interstate, is your fear of being in a wreck. And yes, we did a lot of driving from here to Atlanta. It was like 4 hours there and 4 hours back. But during that whole time, we had a blast driving. We had two of our good friends, one Tommy, who I don't get to see a whole lot, and Doug, who I do see at work a lot, but because I'm so focused on work, I don't get to properly talk to him a whole lot, and I do feel bad about that. And during that whole time, we had a blast, you know, talking, enjoying times, telling jokes, and we also got to see beautiful sights around Tennessee and the Georgia area, beautiful sights. And we went slow, traffic wasn't that bad. The only really major pain about the traffic in Atlanta was trying to find a place to park, which we did, but we circled around the same lot 3 times trying to find a good parking spot. However, leaving for Georgia was very easy. We had no issues, no delays. To be fair, the whole Georgia driving has actually gave me confidence about being on the interstate. It can be very chaotic, but that shouldn't stop you from wanting to go places, as life is short. And I don't like to take things for granted. Like us having another day here in this world is just another blessing from God before we all go home to heaven. I'm really thankful that we're given another opportunity, another day, to experience the beauties of this life, to enjoy ourselves, to prove to God that, you know, we learn His lessons, learn about Jesus, and being kind to others and loving everyone as our neighbors and stuff. And you shouldn't let fear stop you. I mean, yes, there's many scary accidents, many horror stories around driving on an interstate really quick, but that shouldn't yet stop you from wanting to go to places you want to go. If you want to go to the Center of Puppetry Arts but you live up in Kentucky, there shouldn't be no trouble as long as you go slow, be aware of your surroundings, but enjoy the journey. Don't go vroom vroom all over the interstate trying to get to your destination. Just enjoy the journey. But if you are afraid of the interstate, don't force yourself, because it took me a while to get used to getting back on being comfortable on the interstate. It's something that takes time. Stop by going on the interstate for slow, maybe 1-2 miles or something, and then gradually get back. As yes, there are some scary things on the interstate, but that shouldn't stop you from enjoying life and going to some amazing places. Yeah, hopefully me and my brother will plan the next time, whether it be in Georgia, Florida, whatever. We want to get out more because we don't get out of our town that much. We really don't. But that's my little story about my terrifying accident on the interstate, and then slowly getting used to not being afraid. Kind of like my fear of tornadoes. Yes, I am afraid of it still, but I don't get as scared as much, as I want to think and make sure we have electricity, plan on a little, you know, safety zone and all that. But anyway, if you guys have any interesting stories regarding to the interstate, or if you overcome your fear of the interstate, or if you're kind of scared, let me know. Let's get a little discussion going on. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. God bless you, and I will see you guys in the next Mullins vlog video. Bye bye!